Ridgeline's been around since 2018, went public in 2020. We're primarily focused on precious and base metal exploration in Nevada. So all of our team lives there. We've had past success with exploration discoveries, and so we've really leaned into Nevada. Something that really sets us apart, we have 5 projects being drilled this year, $11 million US exploration budget, of which $9.5 million is funded by our partners. So we kind of fall into the hybrid exploration or hybrid prospect generator camp, trying to limit downside risk while also getting as much exposure to projects and future discoveries as we can. We're currently advancing 2 discoveries. One is a CRD that's partnered with South32. That's our Salina project right here, high-grade discovery. And then we have our Swift project, which is a joint venture with Nevada Gold Mines, which is a Barrick Newmont JV. So we'll get into a bit about our cap structure. We have 140 million shares out, about $1.5 million in the bank. We're actually cash flow positive through the end of the year through our partnerships with our various groups. So we're going to end the year in a strong cash position. I own 3.5% of the company. Pretty much my entire net worth is tied up in this, so I'd love to see it work out. Some notable shareholders include Merck Investments, Paul Stevens out of San Francisco, Rick Rule, a lot of great institutions, funds, high net worth investors, long-term shareholders who have been backing us since 2019 when I was running around Vancouver as a private company trying to raise some money. So really to hit home that prospect generator model, what we do is we bring in early stage projects, stake them ourselves in Nevada. We do first phase of work, drilling, et cetera, to take it to a point where we either make a discovery ourselves, in which case we're more than happy to advance it, or we bring in a partner. So this year, these 3 JVs total $60 million US in total expenditures. We just sold a tungsten asset to Spartan Metals. We now own 20% of that company. Tungsten, I think, is an exciting space to be in right now, kind of like lithium 3 years ago, and we have significant share exposure and equity in that company, which is currently worth about 1.8 million Canadian. So when we're talking about some leverage to discovery, these are our 3 deals. What I really want to point out in all of this is if any one of these deals gets executed fully to discovery and to completion, Ridgeline retains a fully carried interest to commercial production. So I think we all get excited about discovery, right? You know, Junior makes a discovery. Okay, well, what do you do next? In our case, not a darn thing. It's being funded by our partners all the way to commercial production, which means we don't have to dilute to participate meaningfully in that discovery all the way to production. So that $9.5 million spend that we see this year, I think is a signal that we're onto something exciting in a few of these projects. I'm going to show you our Salina project first. This is a map of northern Nevada. We'll zoom in on Salina, $20 million US deal for 80%, with Ridgeline retaining a 20% fully carried interest to commercial production. We are the operators of this project, so we're actively involved in the exploration. This project is drilling right now. So we're drilling hole number 1. What gets us really excited is this is a porphyry that's owned by Freeport-McMoRan. That's the source to the mineralization on our project. We've drilled up to 32 meters of 150 grams silver, multi-percent copper, lead zinc, I apologize, up to 6 meters of 480 silver with 18% lead zinc within that. That's about, just for context, 12 to 1,300 grams per ton silver equivalent, depending on which metal price you're using, which right now is changing pretty darn quick. When we brought in South32, the story was, well, we've discovered an oxide open pitable discovery here. You have your porphyry source here. If we're looking for the next Taylor deposit, like Arizona Mining and our partners at South32 own, it's going to be directly between the 2 of them. We have a large MT anomaly here, that purple blob, which suggests that we have a pretty exciting target at depth right here. That target is 2 kilometers long north-south. It's 1.5 kilometers wide east-west, and it's over 500 meters tall. It's a 25 ohm meter conductor in the center, which typically suggests massive sulfide. Now, we have to prove that with the drill bit, but you typically don't get that kind of conductivity out of rock that hasn't been touched or altered. We're currently right about here in that drill hole. We have 2 more to drill. You're not supposed to choose your favorite, but hole number 2 is where I think the big discovery is going to come from. Historically, we drilled 2 holes here and here that both hit high-grade silver, lead, and zinc, but we didn't drill deep enough. We didn't know that that MT anomaly was sitting there at depth. If we look at it from the other side, here's why number 2 is exciting to me. So you got the original discovery, chinchilla oxide. The same host rocks just continue at depth here. We have a single drill hole, like I said, that hit high-grade CRD, albeit narrow. We're going to continue hole 2 all the way through. There's 2 big faults here and here, and that anomaly is sandwiched right between the 2 of them. We're pretty excited about this. This is our most advanced project, and what we're chasing, I'm sure many of you are aware of the Taylor deposit that was sold to our partners at South32 for $2 billion in 2018. We've taken that exact deposit, we've put it to scale over top of our MT anomaly. They fit pretty nice. So from a scale perspective, we know we can fit a world-class deposit in here. The grade that we've hit is more than double the grade of the Taylor deposit on average. So we know we have grade, we know we have scale. What we have to do now is try to get it to go together right here in that MT anomaly. So I'm very, very excited about where this could go. Results are going to be coming out October through January. And obviously trading at a 28 million market cap, that could be a pretty significant thing for the company if we can pull it off. So that's our, call it the flagship story right now. We also have our Swift project, which is right on the Cortez trend. This is a $30 million deal with Nevada Gold Mines, which is a joint venture between Barrick and Newmont. This has become a pretty interesting story for us over the last 12 months. For the first time, Barrick drilled 10 grams per ton over a meter last year. This is a grassroots discovery. It may be narrow, but it's showing that you have the kind of grade that is required to host a significant deposit on the trend. All of these deposits are owned by Nevada Gold Mines. It's about 50 million ounces of past production and current reserves, and the underground average grade of all of those deposits is 6.8 grams per ton. Seems pretty low, right? I thought so too. That's calculated at $2,000 gold by Barrick. Now, imagine what that grade could be if they're calculating at a $3,000 gold, right? You're going to see 4 and 5 gram per ton rock being mined at 700-800 meters down. So we've proven we have enough grade here to make this very exciting. If we zoom in on that section, all the red stars represent the Barrick drilling. They've spent $10.9 million over the last 4 years. To get to a minimum of 60%, they have to spend $20 million in the next 15 months, or Ridgeline gets the project back 100%. The 10 gram per ton hit is right here. We've hit 50 grams or 52 meters at 0.4 right beside it, 500 meters away. We've hit 45 meters at 0.2. So we know that we have significant host rock that could host tons. That one drill intercept that hit 10 grams, that shows us we also have potential grade. So they're drilling on strike on both sides of that intercept. What we need to see here is a 100 gram per ton or 100 gram meter intercept, right? That's a major sign of a big discovery. If we can prove that, we're on to a 5 to 10 million ounce discovery. That could be analogous to any one of these deposits on the trend that average anywhere from 10 to 20 million ounces. So we're going after big things here with Ridgeline. And to do that and kind of get into these risky type of targets, the best thing you can do is bring in partners, let them shoulder the heavy lifting when it comes to the finance. And we have this great deal structured on the back end. The last project I want to show you is our Black Ridge project. So this is on the North Carlin Trend. This one's a $10 million deal with Nevada Gold Mines for 75%. So all of our deals are structured with a carried interest on the back end. You zoom in. It's the North Carlin Trend, obviously one of the most prolific gold belts on the planet. When you look, these are the 2 fault zones that control 95% of the mineralization on this trend. They form like pearls on a string, here, here, all the way up. These are all mostly open pit mines along this side of the trend. The other side of the trend has been dropped down, and it's a lot deeper. We think those same pearls exist, but they're twice as deep as on the other side. That's why no one did any exploration for 30 years on this side of the trend. We are on trend of the Fallon discovery, which is 1.1 million ounces of 11 grams per ton. We believe that's going to be substantially larger. This is about a 2-year-old resource now, so it is growing. And it's open towards our project. So Nevada Gold Mines just finished a drill hole right here. We hit the right host rocks. They were altered. They were mineralized. Who knows what they're going to come back with, right? We'll see what the assays tell us. But what we're seeing is 3 of our projects being drilled, totaling $9.5 million, all non-dilutive, with assays coming out now through February of next year. So any one of these projects hits, I think we're onto something pretty exciting. So just taking a bigger step back, on top of our partner projects, we are always advancing our early stage assets, right? So our Atlas project, our Big Blue project, we drilled both of those this year. Big Blue hit 0.6 meters of 0.7% copper, 32 grams per ton silver and 2.6% tungsten underneath the historic gold mine. Good first pass maiden drill program. We would love to have hit a porphyry intercept, but we won't say no to that kind of grade. And our Atlas project just had a 2-hole program that hit up to 2 grams per ton oxide at surface. So we are always advancing our early stage assets, but our bread and butter is definitely our partner projects. This year is the biggest one in company history. I'm really excited for how that comes together. So like I mentioned, partner projects, $9.5 million. Our own budget, we put $1.5 million in. So for every dollar we're putting in, we're almost seeing 10x return from our shareholders, right? So this is how you expose yourself to discovery. The fully carried interests, I think, are very exciting, especially if a discovery is made. And I really appreciate your time. And if you have any questions, track me down at the show. I'll be all over the place. So thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Chad. We've got a few minutes here for some questions, if anybody has any.
Oh, you're letting me off easy. Okay.
If not, well, I can start. I'll ask you a question or two. In terms of your deals with Nevada Gold Mines, do you have a standstill with them?
No, there is no standstill. That's a good question. I've done multiple joint ventures with Nevada Gold Mines over the last 10 years with various companies. And something that I really like working with their team is they really feel strongly about being partners in a project. So they don't believe that going in necessarily and buying in the market is the right way to advance a project or a partnership. So, but yeah, they can come and buy in the market if they'd like.
Well, yeah, they could buy in the market, but if they make some massive discovery,
it could change. You're right.
Things could change pretty quick.
Totally.
And it wouldn't be bad for Ridgeline or Ridgeline shareholders. So that's not a bad thing either. But in terms of the work that you do, how many other projects are you generating at any given time?
Yeah, that's a great question. We try to generate at least 2 potential opportunities a year. We're not a typical process. You know, you see a lot of prospect generators. It's all about volume, right? We only pick up a project if we think we will explore it ourselves. So if we think there's an opportunity to make a 100% owned discovery, we will pick up an asset. But we don't pick up postage stamp projects. If we're going to go in, we're going to go in big and we're going to own the district. So that I think is maybe what separates us a little bit. But we try to get 1 to 2 opportunities a year.
And are you wholly focused on Nevada? Do you look anywhere else?
We had an asset in Idaho where we look in Idaho, we look in Arizona, we look in Utah, but certainly Nevada's our kind of favorite place to be.
Listen, thank you very much and good luck with the drilling. We'll all be watching. It would be pretty exciting.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.